India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar spoke to the Iranian Foreign Minister on Sunday. Jaishankar said he had taken up the matter of the release of the 17 Indian crew members on board the MSC Aries. Jaishankar added that he also discussed the current situation in the region and stressed the importance of avoiding an escalation. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps had seized an Israel-linked Portuguese-flagged commercial vessel in the strategic Strait of Hormuz on Saturday. The ship was en route from the United Arab Emirates to India's Jawaharlal Nehru port when it was intercepted by the IRGC forces. On board the ship are 17 Indian nationals. We are now being joined by our principal diplomatic correspondent, Sidhan Sibol, on the line. Sidhan Sibol, good to hear you. I'll just read part of the tweet by the Indian External Affairs Minister. He says he discussed the current situation in the region. He stressed the importance of avoiding escalation, exercising restraint, and returning to diplomacy. What more do we know about this engagement, and why was it important for Jaishankar to phone or to call the Iranian Foreign Minister?
Of the two developments in the region which have bearing on India's security. First, of course, is the MSC Aries incident where 17 Indian nationals are present on board. India, of course, has been in touch with Tehran, but this is the first time there has been an open conversation between the two sides. We're still waiting for the Iranian readout. The second, of course, is the ongoing tensions in West Asia with a full-blown conflict between Israel and Iran. Now, essentially, the focus is de-escalation, and India issued a release earlier today where it said that it's seriously concerned, even as it called for restraint, diplomacy, and making sure that there is a de-escalation. Now, essentially, Iran and Israel both are good allies of India's. With Iranian, it's a civilizational relationship. Chabar Pore support, where, of course, India is focusing on connectivity with the wider region. With Israel, it's a partnership that has been growing leaps and bounds. Security has been a new dimension of this relationship. There is the people-to-people engagement as well. There are roughly around 18,000 Indian nationals in Israel, and a batch of Indians left for Israel as construction workers just recently. With Iran, there are approximately 10,000 Indians. So India is carefully weighing and balancing its options, and this conversation is key in terms of how both countries can work together.
Sidhan Sibol, what was the reaction by India following the attacks that we saw in Israel today?
Well, we saw a pretty strong statement by the Indian Foreign Ministry, the Ministry of External Affairs, earlier today, in which it expressed serious concerns over the escalation of hostilities between Israel and Iran, and it called for diplomacy between the two sides and restraint as well. So balanced and neutral statement, given that between two friends, choosing is always difficult. But essentially, when it comes to India's stake, India has huge stakes in the region and with both countries as well. A large number of Indian diaspora is in the region, blue-collar workers mostly, who help majorly in building infrastructure projects. So any impact of conflict in the region could impact them. And, of course, they send a lot of remittances to India as well. The second, of course, is energy security. This is a region which sends a lot of crude oil to India, and a conflict means an escalation of prices that impacts the overall inflationary pressures in Global South and in India as well.
Sidhan Sibol, do we know the status of the Somali pirates who were detained and brought to India?
Well, these Somali pirates were brought to India after the actions by the Indian Navy, which we have seen in past few weeks, and they have been brought under the Piracy Act, and they have been handed over by the Indian Navy to the Mumbai police. Now, essentially, they will be tried here in India when, of course, we saw the Indian actions on the vessel at Chem Pluto we saw how these pirates were brought. India has currently approximately 40 to 45 Somali pirates. That's the largest number of foreign pirates India has taken detained in many years. So essentially India will be trying them, and it's a deterrence as well to the Somali pirates that they should not indulge in such actions, or they will be brought to India and tried there. Earlier, what was seen was that they were released and they used to go back to Somalia and then again indulge in piracy acts.
All right, that is our diplomatic correspondent, Sidhan Sibol. Sidhan, thank you. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.